Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty, and today I'm answering another one of your questions from Cora, which is how do I stop obsessing over a narcissist? And I've kind of answered this question before in several different ways, but I really liked the way that this question was worded, and also the responses that I was looking through on Quora were also very interesting. So I wanted to kind of give a more inclusive, all-encompassing kind of answer to this question. So when you're obsessing about anything, regardless of if it's a narcissist, you can't stop thinking about a person, a situation, maybe something that's just weighing on your mind, that's a sign that you have not established boundaries over that thing. So whether this is finances, whether this is something to do with your children, whether this is a narcissist or something at work, it doesn't matter what it is. This is a sign that your obsessive thought life about that thing is not working for you, that you have not figured out how to put authority over that situation. So you have not figured out how to completely put into your domain that issue. And this is the first step in really kind of changing the way that you are going about your life or doing your business or whatever the situation is. So if you find yourself obsessing about something over and over, recognize first of all, there's a lack of boundaries. And that's the first step that you need to take in order to start constructing boundaries and start changing your own behavior and habits. So in the case of a narcissist, if you're obsessing about them, chances are you're an empath. And you're wondering kind of what you did wrong, or how this situation ended up the way that it did, why this person didn't accept you, why certain events happened, why the flying monkeys for the narcissist turned against you, or a million other things that could have happened with the narcissist. Why did they lie to you? Why did they gaslight you? All of those kind of things are really telling you that, again, you just have a lack of boundaries in a certain area, because those thoughts that plague your mind would not be there if you had boundaries, because regardless of the answer, that boundary would have kept out that question. So it would have actually prevented the obsessive thoughts from happening, because you just have those standards for your life. And I've spoken about this before in my videos, that empaths especially are very much so lacking in boundaries. They're lacking in understanding how to use or steward their gift, and then they get very upset when everybody else doesn't react the same way that they do to a certain situation. So just because you feel a certain way about a situation, just because you wouldn't behave a certain way, doesn't mean that everybody thinks about life the same way that you do. And this is especially true with a narcissist. So this isn't just somebody who has a different of opinion than you. They actually are predators. They're looking for people to prey on, and you're the prime target, especially since you don't know how to steward your gift and you don't know about boundaries. You probably don't know your worth. All of those kind of things add up to the situation that you even found yourself in with the narcissist to begin with. So number one, recognize that your obsessive thoughts are telling you that you don't have boundaries in a certain area. And again, this can apply to any part of your life, and I hope that you really will think about that. Like, what kind of thoughts do you find yourself thinking about over and over and over, and why don't you have boundaries in those spaces? Really do that work. Really think about that. Really dig up the root issue. I have a teaching that I've talked about several times on this channel about asking yourself why 5 times to get down to the root of the issue. If you get down to the root of the issue, you can start changing things at the foundational level. Until then, you're just trying to rearrange things as it's already growing. That tree is already in process of springing up fruit and making other trees. So you need to go down to the root level and really take a look at that. hopefully you've found out how important boundaries are now. And once you've done that, then you can have this space necessary to look at the situation for what it is, not how you want it to be. I understand that you wanted it to be a certain way. You wanted it to turn out in a certain type of way. But recognizing the fact that it is not going to turn out that way, that the reality of the situation is something different than the idea that you had in your head about when you went into the relationship, even the way that it ended. You know, even till the very bitter end, you were probably holding out for a different ending. But letting go of that kind of fantasy world and tuning into what is actually happening and taking the facts for the face value of, hey, this is how the person actually was, that's going to allow you to start reframing the way that you view the situation, and to start using your thoughts in a beneficial manner. So ask yourself, now that I know the facts, now that the kind of veil has been removed from that situation and I can see clearly, my eyes are unblindfolded, do I think my energy is best spent still ruminating about the narcissist, about what coulda, shoulda, woulda been? That kind of thing. So you need to ask yourself those questions, because when you start revealing those levels deeply, so you start answering those questions truthfully, honestly, and start really getting down to the root again of why you thought, or why you held out so long, why you really wanted it to change, and all of that kind of thing. That's revealing a lot about your heart, your personality, and your desires. And those are the things that you can change. So when you start to look into why you let the narcissist have so much control, why you put the narcissist above every single other thing in your life, why you were so hopeful for that relationship to work out even when there was a million red flags, you can kind of start to recognize the holes in your own self-worth, in your own value system, in your own rationalization. That all of those things are very important, because moving forward, I said this again and again, narcissism is a spirit. You'll attract the same spirit in a different body. If you don't fill in those holes, if you don't actually do this hard work, you are going to attract another narcissist. Absolutely. And by the way, there's just too many narcissists out there to not ever run into one again. So you will run into one again, whether you're attracting them into your life or not. And knowing how to appropriately respond the next time is much more important. So you need to get the lesson from dealing with the narcissist this time, so that you are more equipped to go forward in your life. You are more able to handle a narcissist when you run into them again, whether that's in the workplace, another relationship, you need to help a friend, whatever the situation is. Recognize that this is going to come up again in your life, and you need to learn the lesson now. You don't want to go through this again and again and again and again. So doing this hard work is really going to help you avoid doing that, avoid going through the same process again. And so all of that kind of leads me to my third point of this video, which is shift your focus. When you turn your focus away from the narcissist, you've understood what you could have controlled, what you maybe did wrong in this situation, the red flags that you ignored, advice you didn't take, that kind of thing. You've seen what you could have done differently in the past. You are able to apply that moving forward. So the next part is to do that. So shift your focus onto you. What do you need to do? How do you get back in touch with your true self? How do you get back tied into your true identity? That kind of thing. So how can you shift the focus back onto you so that your energy isn't turned towards the narcissist and towards the past? I've said this before, but I want to say it one more time. Your past is redeemed in your future. If you are trying to redeem your past by going back to your past, you're missing the whole point of how the whole thing works. So you can't redeem your past in your past. You need to redeem your past in your future. You do that by shifting your focus, by shifting your gaze, if you will. Where are your eyes looking? Where are you focused? And by putting your energy into what you are looking at. So whether that's hiring a life coach, getting a health coach, getting back in tune with your group of friends, doing new hobbies, trying new activities, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you need to do to get your own self healthy, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes, so that you truly learn the lesson of what you're going through. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to be putting your energy, your focus into right now. So shift your gaze, turn your attention onto your life, because that's what you can control. You cannot control the narcissist. You cannot control what they do or what they don't do. And ultimately, you're responsible for your own life, regardless of who you've allowed to come in and out of it, regardless of the life that you were born into. Even that, you're responsible for taking authority over and for molding your life, which you've been given, into the best possible one, even your ideal one. You know, that is not out of your grasp. So really looking at what you want and getting together a plan, formulating a plan to help you get that life, so that you can not only obtain those things but also keep them. And you'll never do that without boundaries. So going back to the first thing that I talked about is recognizing when you don't have boundaries, because that's a lesson that is going to be needed to be implemented into every part of your life, whether we're talking about business, personal, workplace, friendships, any kind of place. You're going to need to have boundaries. You're going to need to know how to set those and follow them for yourself if you ever expect other people to follow them. So I hope this video has helped you kind of figure out how to stop obsessing about a narcissist and to move forward into your life, and not just moving forward, but truly building a life that you love, that the best life that you could possibly have. Again, my name is Dr. Angel Storm, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel below and turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.